What's going on, Geminites? It's your boy Gem Mint.
Known the Manimal.
We're here with the spoiler review for Captain Marvel, so stay tuned. Alright guys, so if you click this on accident and you haven't seen the movie, you want to get up out of here.
Warning, Amber Alert noise.
This is going to be straight spoilers because I feel like there's a lot of spoilers to talk about, so we made a whole other video for it.
Where to begin on the spoilers? Let's talk about kind of characters.
Alright, so let's talk about Nick Fury.
Okay.
So Nick Fury is kind of out of character, and I don't know what changes him to the Nick Fury we know. Because Nick Fury we know is cold,
right,
calculating,
strategic.
Yes, this guy is a big goofball.
So, and that's, I'm sure if you're watching this, you probably watched the previous video. Jem spoke on bridges. It did not bridge his character at all. So it was like him, and then at the end he was typing up Avengers Initiative or Protocol. Okay. It didn't show how he became that guy.
So it shows us how he not loses his eye. It shows us how he gets his eye messed up.
But that was also, they kind of played with it all movie.
They made you think he was going to do it in that car crash. And his eye was all red. Yeah. And then later on he's like, no, the eye's good. So yeah, they kind of tease like he's going to lose the eye. He's going to lose it now. He's going to lose it then. So then they also show kind of how he got his hands on the Tesseract. So that's...
Well, and a little bit before that, they also show, and you mentioned it too, and I loved it as well, because I'm a big Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. fan. They showed the dynamic between Coulson, the budding friendship, trust, and like loyalty that shows up between them.
Coulson's the rookie. Fury's been there for a little bit. I get the vibe.
Yeah.
Very Men in Black. Very Agent J and K, for sure. You know, you didn't get that vibe?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I got it.
I got the vibe. So anyway, I mentioned in our non-spoiler review, this movie gives us answers to questions we never asked. We never asked where the Tesseract was at the end of Captain America and how Fury got it in Avengers 1, but now we kind of know.
But the thing
is... But do we know?
Yeah, kind of. But the thing is also... That question wasn't needed to be answered because they kind of gave us the answer. Everyone assumed it was found when they found Steve Rogers.
That Howard Stark dug it up and Shield's had it ever since.
Right. So that what they say though now is that the Tesseract was given to this other character who ends up being a Dr. Lawson. Was that what her name was?
Who's really a Kree.
Who's actually Marvel.
Yeah, Captain. Well, just Marvel.
Yeah, Marvel. And
so they changed.
They changed the
gender.
Little SJW there.
Okay,
so she's been experimenting with it, and what we get from her experimentations is it's the space stone, remember, so it allows you to travel.
But they were talking about it like it's the
like warp drive.
Light speed, but really it's just like a teleport thing.
Pretty much, yeah. And they were trying to harness it into ships and engines to like hyperdrive, pretty much.
In order to save the Skrulls. So here's the big twist, right? Yeah. The big twist is that you think that the Kree are good. That they took in Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers. They're calling her Vers. And I didn't even put that together until later in the movie.
See, I knew because there was a picture on one of the somewhere, dog tags. And it was her dog tags broken early before the movie came out. And it was just Vers. Right. So I was like, oh, okay, I know where this is coming from.
So it's kind of like, I don't know. I feel like it kind of relates to modern times too. They're painting the Skrulls as these terrorists, but in reality, the Kree are really like assholes and
the bullies.
Yeah. They're bullies, and the Skrulls are just trying to find somewhere to live. They got kicked out of Talos or what's?
No, that's the guy's
name.
What's
their home? It was something like that.
Their homeworld's always destroyed in the Marvel universe.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's like a big twist. And what do you think about the Skrulls?
So I thought they were pretty cool. I like the powers. I'm not crazy about the fact that they're... So here's the deal. For a while, I was like, when they flipped and they became good, or good-ish, if you will, I was like, okay, but now you just kind of took away a really strong MCU villain.
Forward.
But you can also just say, like, look, here's another pack of them who are not good. Because, look, let's be honest, there's good humans and bad humans.
Yeah, and there's people that maybe are still on their home planet that's all jacked up, and they're all bitter.
Or super vengeful and angry. So.
Yeah, this guy Talos.
Talos
is just happy to reunite with his family, right?
Right.
Who's basically been stowed away in... orbiting Earth in this cloaked Kree ship.
So he's been working with Marvel in order to find a way to get to a new homeworld to bring their people back together.
So I wasn't really feeling him with like the Australian accent.
It was a strange accent.
The accent was like, well, I don't know, maybe it's a Skrull accent.
Maybe it is.
That's just not how I pictured Skrulls to talk.
But I thought their powers were cool. I thought the changes they did.
I thought it was very Mystique the way that the clothes changed.
Yeah.
And I thought like the ripping of the skin was kind of weird for their morphing.
Can I speak on how I was disappointed that we didn't see a Super Skrull?
And they had an opportunity.
There was many opportunities.
So this takes place like 20 years ago.
Right.
So when they reunite with the family, one of the kids could have been like, "Hey, Clerk," or whatever his name is.
Yeah.
They could have just did that.
And hell, we don't even know how Skrulls age. If they age the same timeline. So, it could have been anything.
So speaking on the timeline, right? So at the end of this movie, let's be lenient and say this is 1998, which it could be 92. But let's say it's 98.
It's whenever True Lies came out.
That's like 95.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's what it was.
So Nick Fury's writing up the Avengers Initiative at the end of this movie, but he doesn't really put that into play until like 10 plus years later.
Well, maybe he couldn't find anyone. Who's the first person he found? It was really Tony.
But really, wasn't it Captain America? And that's
it was on ice, though.
But that's before all of this, and they're kind of acting like Carol Danvers is the first superhero that's been found.
True, good point. So, while you're on that topic, I kind of didn't like this little bridge. And it just, once more, it was a reach with the character, how Carol Danvers' call sign turns out to be Avenger. And that gave him the idea for the name of Avengers. So I thought that was lame.
It was sitting wrong with me a little bit, but I'm like, he still came up with it.
Yeah, but
it was still his idea to call them the
they're
Avengers.
Gonna be like, now it's kind of like,
now is
she the original Avenger? Yeah, come on, I don't know, dude. I didn't like that.
You know what's weird though? Like Captain America's first movie was called The First Avenger, but he wasn't really called an Avenger. Like, why was that the name of the movie?
I don't know.
And they were never the Avengers until the Avengers movie.
Maybe because they're time-wise, he was the earliest.
No, the Avengers Initiative was before that, right? Because
like 1940.
Yeah. But I was saying that they weren't called the Avengers until the Avengers, but Fury was really putting it together at the end credit scenes.
Like, you know what I thought would have been a cool call sign for? Would have been Warbird. Shout out to her little character with the X-Men run, something like that. I didn't really like the Avenger thing.
Yeah, and what you're referring to, I mean, I guess if you're watching this, you've seen the movie, but on her plane, when they're looking at the picture, it's like Carol, the Avenger, Danvers.
Yeah. So,
okay, what else?
So her backstory is...
This is spoilers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Her backstory is basically she is a pilot with the Air Force, but her and her best friend, was it Maria Rambeau? Because Monica's the daughter. Maria Rambeau are pilots, but they're not allowed to do combat training because the era they live in and females not being allowed to. So they basically work with this undercover Kree person, Marvel, to test prototype spaceships or planes because it's their only way to fly.
So it's like a prototype Quinjet.
So she gets her powers from basically destroying this engine, the prototype engine, to protect it from who we find out is the bad guy, the Kree, and her Thon Rog. And what does she end up being?
She's basically a physical embodiment of an Infinity Stone.
Of the Space Stone.
Right.
Yeah.
She's basically OP as fuck.
Yeah, a walking Infinity Stone.
So once she really, I guess the movie's saying once she controls her power, she's unstoppable. She's like, she'll fly through all these ships. You can't even hurt her. Like, she's like Superman, but without a kryptonite weakness.
Yeah, so... that didn't really sit well. Because who likes it? I mean, no one likes Superman really that much. And at least he has kryptonite. But, like, what can stop her?
Well, what you're saying is that people don't like the fact that Superman is very OP.
Right.
So she's even more OP.
Yeah, it definitely felt that way.
Yeah, so...
And who would you say the most OP character is in the MCU right now? Thor?
Yeah. But he gets his ass whooped, though.
I know, yeah. And do you think she seemed more OP than Thor?
She doesn't seem like she's about to get her ass whooped.
No, never.
Right.
It seemed like her biggest struggle was controlling her momentum when she was using her power. Kind of getting the feel for it. That was it.
So let's bridge over to like the other bridge in this movie is that we see Fury's. He has a state of the art two-way pager.
Yeah.
And she has a cool thing that she does throughout the movie where she's able to go to like a phone booth or like a regular phone and like mess with it and like improve the technology to do her space
she has
calls.
Better tech skills because of higher.
So at the end of the movie, she hooks up his pager. Is like, look, I'm about to dip. I'm going with the Skrulls to go find them a home world and do right by them. Use this for emergencies only. Mm-hmm. So the after credit scene. At first, I thought they were showing us the same thing that we already saw.
I know what you're thinking of the scene where you see Bruce Banner watching the pictures of
and
all
it says Peter Parker and
missing,
all that. Yeah. But it's that section
set up too. Yeah.
And we see Bruce Banner. We see
War Machine.
Yeah,
Black
Widow and Captain America, Steve Rogers, and they have like the pager hooked up to this like infinite power source or battery, and it's sending the signal out, but then it turns off, and then Black Widow I guess he's in charge now.
Well, I don't know. It's a female Marvel movie. Yeah.
But she's like, get it back on now.
Let me know immediately. And it's like, first off, Cap's standing right next to you. Why is anyone going to you? Like, what are you doing?
But then Carol Danvers shows up. Ms. Marvel shows up. So she's now in current times. So you see her interact with some of the Avengers.
Right. That was pretty cool.
But it does make me worry about what we talked about prior to watching the movie. Like, damn, is she really going to save the day in Endgame right now?
So, two things on that. One, let's kind of talk about, so where's she been the whole time? Like Jem said, she was out supposedly helping the Skrulls find a new planet. So that's why she's been missing from the MCU. I guess at first I was like, yo, did she just teleport here? But now I'm thinking about it. It's like Fury hit it.
Yeah.
And it's been sitting there powered up for a while. So travel time, I guess.
Right.
But, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm worried about that too. That's my biggest worry.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I don't know.
So it seems like, though, like, where do you think that'll fall in Endgame time story? Do you think that'll be at the beginning, or do you think we'll have a beginning of Endgame and then that scene will happen in the middle?
So
where do you think that'll fall?
I think so. Endgame was shot at the same time Infinity War was shot. I think that's the beginning scene of Endgame.
You think it's the beginning?
That's what I think, because that's how it ends with the pager, and I think that's how it's going to start.
I feel like we might see a little bit more before.
Maybe a little bit, but not no middle of the movie.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think that's going to be that, and then they're going to.
Is the Endgame supposed to be the longest comic book movie of all time?
Well, if you want to count the trailers in this one might have been pushing it. God.
I mean, they were talking about Endgame having an intermission. It's so long.
That's dope.
So sometimes I got pee. I had to leave in this movie to take a piss.
Pee-pee.
But
so what else? So the cat is really like a Men in Black type alien where the squid comes out of it and messes everybody up like Groot style.
I think in the comics her cat is an alien as well.
Maybe,
but I'm not super familiar with it either.
But the cat swallows the Tesseract.
Speak on that. You brought up that good point. I didn't think about it.
No, I thought about it right away because Carol Danvers, when they see the Tesseract, she picks it up and she's just like juggling or whatever. No problem, bare hands. But that's funny. I'm like, yeah, because most people, it'll like teleport them where they can't handle the power. Thanos can hold it.
Red Skull got teleported.
Red Skull couldn't handle it.
Star-Lord couldn't hold it. A different one.
Yeah. And then Ronan was able to hold the Power Stone. But anyway.
Well, he put it in his staff.
Yeah, but this one, anyway, so Nick Fury doesn't want to touch it right away. He's like, I ain't touching that thing. Then the cat eats it up, and I guess the cat can transport it or whatever. Yeah,
which was kind of strange, too. Like, what gives this cat the powers to... Should we talk about his eye?
Yeah, I guess. So, the thing is about Nick Fury, like, for some reason, he's drawn to this cat. Ever since he's seen him, he's hitting him with the Ojo Bobo Dodo. He's hitting him with the whole time, and everyone's looking at him like, all right, bro, we kind of got to keep it moving. Yeah. So, anyway, after, like, the end, he's, like, got the cat. He's like, hey, Ojo
They've been friendly the whole movie.
And all of a sudden, the cat straight claws his eye for no reason. And you get the vibe, like, yo, it's like gonna be an infection or something, right?
Yeah, or I also sometimes I got the vibe that the cat was like omniscient or something. Like maybe he had a goal in mind.
Oh, I didn't think that at all.
Well, like when he kept doing stuff, like he kept. Yo, how about when the cat? I thought about this as well. The cat walked up and pawed the Tesseract when it was initially in that little.
Did it?
Stasis field.
Oh yeah, it did.
Yeah,
but maybe that's just to show you how strong it is.
Yeah. So here's the question: where's the damn cat been all this time?
Where's the cat?
Where is that guy?
So the Thanos says like only beings of incredible power can hold these stones or whatever, right?
So the Skrulls actually know something about whatever species this cat is, because
because
Telos is not happy.
He was scared of it the whole time.
It's like, yo, you probably shouldn't have that thing on your lap. So
yo, that was funny, but that's crazy. And they were saying in the before the movie came out, the cat's going to be the reason why his eye's out, and sure enough, it was. There
was also a comment after he scratched his eye. The Skrull said something. I can't remember what he said.
He was like, "Yo, that's just going to be fucked up."
Yeah,
something like that. Because like he knows he's like, "Yo, that's not going to be no regular cut."
Right. Yeah. But what other spoilers?
So the other thing I was going to talk about was I lost it.
Well, so one, not really a spoiler, but I got one too. Is the daughter of her best friend, Monica Rambeau, and the comics ends up being Photon. They kind of set that up, where she was like, maybe I'll build a spaceship. You know?
There was something else I wanted to talk about.
The Stan Lee stuff?
Yeah, the Stan Lee. So first of all, they changed the entire Marvel intro that it doesn't have scenes from all the movies. It's seen from Stan's cameos. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Oh,
and it opens saying, "Thank you, Stan."
Thank you, Stan. And then his cameo was on the bus where she's fighting that old lady. And it's cool because they give a shout out to like one of my favorite movies of all time, Mallrats. He's reading the script, trying to get his lines down.
True believer.
But then they kind of break the fourth wall the way she looks at him, right?
Yeah, she gives one of her patented looks. The whole movie, like that was like her go-to line all movie. I felt like that look.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So we kind of went in on the non-spoilers. So I think we kind of talked about all the spoilers.
Yeah, I don't think. There's 2 scenes. The final scene is the
cat throws up the Tesseract.
Yeah, throws up the Tesseract.
What was the point of waiting for that?
I don't want to watch some animal barf.
Yeah, I hate when they waste those post-credit scenes on some bullshit that doesn't like advance the overall story.
Like them eating shawarma at the end of Avengers.
That was kind of good, actually.
Was it?
I thought it was good because you kind of see them like humanize a little bit. Yeah. I don't know. But this one was not that good.
What other spoilers? Sorry,
spoilers. The Blockbuster stuff. Okay, all the 90s movies in the Blockbuster store. Yeah. True Lies. I saw Hook.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I saw Hook.
There was a Game Boy.
They had a Game Boy that she kind of dismantled to help.
Yeah, Radio Shack.
Radio Shack was there.
Yeah, I think that's kind of it. So one of my other complaints was I wanted to see more bridging in terms of characters like Ronan and Korath.
Ronan was like a little punk.
Ronan showed up really briefly, once in like a hologram, and then once in person at the end.
Straight like Darth Vader style.
Yeah. And then I kind of would have liked to seen some, like, how did he get to be Ronan from there to Ronan where we saw him in Guardians?
It almost feels like, was it his failure here that kind of got him ostracized?
I don't know. I didn't feel that.
He definitely retreated like a little biatch.
Yeah, but he was like, we'll come back for the weapon. That sounded a little ominous. Like they might have bigger plans for her.
Yeah, that's true.
And Jude Law's character, he survived as well. So
I think that's a big deal.
I think if you get another movie, her main villain's going to be the Kree.
How do you do a part 2 of this, though? This movie was very heavily relied on bridging to Endgame, I thought.
Yeah, I don't know. My other... Yeah, I mean, Korath, same thing. We didn't really see what happened to him. How did he get to where he was to Guardians?
Yeah, but that was things I like. That was a cool Easter egg to have him throughout the movie.
That's why I liked it.
The guy who goes in Guardians. Who?
Yeah.
Star-Lord. Who?
Star-Lord.
He's back.
I think that's about it, though.
I guess that's about it. So, we kind of talked about it in the non-spoiler. We kind of put this, like, the Marvel movies have, like, kind of 3 echelons of movies.
Yeah.
The awesome ones that are, like, your Avengers 1, your Iron Man 1. The middle tier, which is like Doctor Strange, Black Panther.
Question: where would you put Spider-Man for Homecoming?
Middle echelon. I don't know. So we were saying this is like at the bottom of the middle echelon. It's not like Iron Man 3, Thor: The Dark World. It's not bad like those.
Yeah.
It's like Guardians 2. I think it's on the same kind of level as that Spider-Man Homecoming.
Homecoming.
That might be a little bit more of a likable movie though, just because of like the comedy aspect, and it's not, the tone is different.
It's definitely at that lower level, the middle echelon for me.
Yeah,
there was a lot of things I wasn't crazy about.
Well, the character in itself is kind of boring.
Yeah,
right. And then when
I felt like they tried to fix that by making her OP,
just like Superman.
Yeah,
but Superman is boring.
Yeah, Superman is boring.
So that's kind of like what they did with her. The Kree Skrull stuff was not as interesting as I thought. You didn't really see a war.
Yeah, it could have been better.
You just kind of saw 3 Krees and like a handful of Skrulls, and that was it.
Yeah.
We didn't really talk about the Skrulls changing into people. Like they changed into Coulson. Yeah, in the car.
The boss.
That was pretty cool. They didn't really overdo it like I was worried they would.
No, and I was kind of... I didn't want to have to feel like the whole movie, I gotta pay attention. Is there going to be a secret invasion situation going on?
But they kind of set up like... they didn't really set it up is what I'm saying. Alright, I guess that's enough.
Yeah.
Alright, well thanks for watching the spoiler section. Drop something below if we missed something or whatever.
Or your thoughts as well.
In the comments. Let us know what you thought about it. Hit the like on the way out and make sure to subscribe to the channel for more daily content. Peace. What's going on, Gemini? Hold on, my hands are like flying all over the place.
Where do I put them? What?
That's for the blooper reel.